It's Felicity from GetYourRockOut here with a couple of the lovely guys from UFO. How are you doing today, guys?
Great.
Yeah, cool, very cool. It's really good to be here in sunny Radcliffe, and it is sunny. Yeah, I'm not actually kidding.
You never thought you'd say. Huh?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Sunny and warm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has been stunning weather all day. Sadly, this room has no windows that open, which is a marginal disappointment.
Yeah.
But you can get past that. I think the British are very good at complaining about the weather and saying they want it to be something, and then it is something, and then they complain even more.
Yeah, we're good at that.
I think you'll find that's pretty widespread in humankind. We love to moan.
We do, actually, we really do. So we're here at SOS Festival 2013. You guys are playing a bit later, so I'm guessing that you're hugely excited about the set.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's a bit short, but we're because we put a set together to do sort of headline shows at the moment, so we're sort of, it's quite difficult to know because we've got some new material. New album is on its way, so we're throwing a few new things into the set to voice them out and see what people think. But because it's a bit of a short set, we might only get a couple in tonight, maybe. But really excited about it. Good, it's like a good crowd, and it should be a good gig.
And a nice venue as well. It's a really nice building. It looks nice. So very excited. Very excited. But like Lauren says, it's a shame that we can't play more of our new stuff because we've been throwing it out there at the fans, and the reaction's been amazing. It's been either equal or better than our UFO catalogue. So I know, that's it is, because that's something that sadly even a band like UFO might not get with a new album, with a new material. So it's very exciting.
I mean, there's so much going on for you guys, I don't really know where to start. I mean, of course, the band is comprised of members who have been in UFO, and I think up until recent times you were just doing the purely UFO material.
Yes.
But, you started doing the newer stuff, you've got an album in the works, and I hear that there's a rebrand possibly being talked about as well. So tell us everything.
Well, you see, for us it's been a terrific experience because our whole UFO heritage got us together in the first place. It was like a really great excuse, and I mean it in the nicest possible sense, an excuse to get together, four guys who a couple of us were friends, another couple were friends, and so on and so forth, but we had never worked together, the four of us, at the same time. And it's just been wonderful, and the UFO thing was a departure point, and we enjoyed playing it. It was natural for us. The first day that we got together, do you remember? It was like it just happened. I mean, it was just it was natural, and so it was always meant to be a starting point, but and it seems to have been developing from that. Yeah.
I mean, our main concern over all of it is how the concept of what we're doing has been taken by the fans and general public, that if we call ourselves ex-UFO, there's always been this thing, are we a tribute band, are we this or that? I mean, it's really just a point of departure, of like where we came together, what we did, and voicing some of the material that we did and wrote when we were with UFO, which a lot of it, UFO itself, Phil, with Phil, I mean, they're still doing a lot of the catalogue they did on Strangers in the Night, and they have done ever since, so it's, they might throw one or two new numbers in here and there, but generally it's that set, so we're sort of bringing another angle to it, but, essentially we are all four writers, we've all written in different environments, different bands, different, so it's quite an exciting thing to have four writers in a band and write material. So
and we've got less pressure, really, when you think about it, than UFO. Really, we got less pressure because we're not UFO. we never pretended to be or anything. We're just four guys who we used that as a trigger to get into something that we might or might not like, and it turned out that we did. Which is wonderful.
I mean, we did want to be able to do gigs like this and gigs in Europe, small festivals or festivals in Europe, by putting ourselves out there as ex-UFO meant that we could automatically step into that level, and then it meant that we can now sort of formulate what we're going to do in a long term. But it means that we weren't going around busting our guts out around pubs and it's that's the whole thinking about what we were doing in the
But
first.
we've now reached a point where, as you say, the rebranding. We've now reached a point where people who want us in other countries, especially for big festivals and tours and so on, have almost not demanded or requested or even suggested, but that they would prefer that we're our own lot, which is what we're becoming anyway. So we're basically the X stays, but the UFO goes.
I mean, we also have that thing. We get double booked on festivals in Europe and various other things that we end up either dropping out or they do, because you can't have two UFO bands playing on the same bill. So
it's always a bit of a tricky one.
So.
Because on a lot of levels, and I don't wish to sound boastful at all. It's just a fact. We have really become an alternative version more than a tribute thing. There are people. The voice. I'm not crazy about this idea, but I wanted to, as a joke, have a competition amongst our fans, because some of the sayings, there's some of our fans, which are pretty much always UFO fans, obviously, have said about comparing us. It's just hilarious. But because we play everything much faster than UFO, that is the truth. Yeah. So that for a start. So
slightly more excited about being on stage than they are, but that's not.
We're incredibly excited.
It's not. We love UFO.
Of course.
I love Phil. I love I love being in the band, and we all. It's not that, but I think that we bring a slightly fresher edge to it.
Yes.
And because of the new material and because everything else, we don't have the restrictions of UFO like we said before. Exactly. So we can fly around and throw it a bit off the wall now and again.
Sure. And it's a different thing, because funnily enough, I really like how UFO, because UFO have, and this tends to happen with lots of bands, that they have become a lot more, in my opinion, more bluesy, more dark, and I personally really love that. I wouldn't want to do it myself, because I can't do it, because I don't take myself seriously enough. But I
don't know any big words. Do
no. Yeah. But I love listening to it, and I really dig where they've gone. Phil's voice, for instance, much darker. I love that really, really bluesy voice, but I can never be that, nor wish to. My voice is really high. It's completely different. So although we enjoy them, but it's not our thing. Yeah. So it's alternative.
Yeah, it is alternative, but there is another side of the connection with UFO. Things like the fans in the States, for example. A lot of them never saw the band as it was when I was in it or when Danny was in it. So to see us doing the material that we wrote at that point, in America, the album that I did, was really well received and it had a bit of a cult following. Sure. Because it was like an first album without Michael on it, really, after for a while and stuff like that. So it was like.
And the material was great. The material was terrific in that album, and we're giving it a new lease of life. And sadly, we're not doing one particular song that I really love tonight because we don't have the time. But some of this, I get into it so much. I am exhausted at the end of it. It's called Love, Deadly Love, which Lawrence wrote with Phil. Some brilliant songs. But of course, because of the history of the band and the situation at the time and everything, it wasn't the Chrysalis Years. I always say this, had it been a Chrysalis Years album, it would have been huge. But this is how life is, So we're giving it a new lease of life. And we're not going to stop doing that.
Even with the rebrand, you'll still be doing the UFO stuff.
Yeah. Especially our what we call our UFO stuff, Love, Deadly Love, Backdoor Man, which is just terrific again.
As far as recordings go, we have done an alternative version of Martian Landscape.
Yeah.
We've put a totally different twist on it. and I think people will really like it. I mean,
it's
everybody that's heard it so far has been positive, so I think
it achieves extreme heaviosity, like we like to say.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I mean, the new album, when are you planning on doing this? Have you got a definite date in mind where you're thinking, you know what, we want to be doing it there?
Oh, we've already started recording it. We're about 2/3 of the way there. Oh yeah.
We might actually, in the not too distant future, put a couple of tasters out on iTunes.
Because you know how the old-fashioned concept of albums is kind of weird now.
Doesn't really exist anymore, does it?
No. We're thinking maybe a mini LP and start putting things out and doing it. It's all changing, isn't it? So
I think for people to really listen to what you're doing, I mean, you know, doing an album, you can spend months and months doing an album, and then when people listen to it, there can be 3 or 4 tracks of that album they never really listen to because they skip through it. Especially nowadays with the short, you know, people just want an instant, buzz. By sort of putting them out there individually, people will probably listen to it more intently rather than just going.
Or mini LP, like we say, mini LP-ish way, like we say, 5 or 6 songs. it's not too much to take in.
No.
And
you can do the same thing in a
exactly.
much shorter space of time.
And then in 6 months' time do another one.
Yeah.
So you're doing the same thing, but it's a different world. So.
And then we can just, then maybe we can do a special edition with all of it together as one album.
We can do a box set of all the mini LPs. a mini box set.
Yeah.
I think you're onto a winner here.
We've already come up with plenty of ideas.
With a 3 bottle of sea salt hair gel.
Free.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That is just going to make it fly out the door, isn't it? So the rebrand, what are you going to be calling yourselves?
Well, it's
Is it still under discussion?
It is under discussion, but I think that there would have been obvious things we would have done, but I think because we might get taken to court by Warner Brothers or various other people, I don't think we can do it. So, but I think X will be certainly a big part of it.
Yes, the X, because that is our X, our logo. We had it made for us, and we love it, and it's very, very rude, and so the name will include that. So it's not going to be difficult. Fans will still be able to refer to us as the X, which they're doing now anyway, aren't they? Yeah. So there will be possibly other 1 or 2 words involved. We're trying to invent them.
I look forward to hearing that greatly. You guys, you've got another few festivals coming up as well this year in the UK, haven't you? Which is very exciting. So tell us a bit about them.
We've got this Sky Festival, and I think we've just got another one on the day before, I think.
Rock and Metal Circus.
Right, okay, yeah.
You know more than we do.
I'll be seeing you there, you see.
All right.
No.
Well, I mean, because we've been doing the album, we haven't really been looking at that much gigging at the moment, so but we are taking, we'll probably appear at a few places that we've not announced it yet, or
Fantastic.
We've got a few things going on in Europe that we're doing to get us out there.
Brilliant, good stuff. And so you've got the album coming out soon. What else have you got planned for the next kind of 6 months or so? Have you got a definite game plan, and you're thinking we're going to do this, we're going to tour here, we're going to tour here, or are you just taking it by ear completely?
See, a lot of things are not really dependent, but we want to go ahead with the rebranding of the band before doing it. We got lots of people who want us in Spain, in Italy, even in France, I said. Why should it be even in France? In Germany and so on and so forth, Sweden, and we just feel that the rebranding would be better to tackle those territories because we don't want to waste really our time and theirs, and we feel that they would like that too. We're not doing it for them, we're doing it for ourselves, but it would be the logical thing to do.
At the end of the day, we just want to get out there and play, and for promoters in the long term, it's better that they see us on and away from the UFO brand to some extent. So, there's nothing stopping us playing at the same festival as Michael or UFO or anybody else.
Exactly. But they already know who we are because of the ex-UFO thing, and they know who we are because of us anyway. So hopefully it's a win-win situation. Except we won't have the barrier because it has started to become a barrier. At first it was great, but now so.
It's great that you're in the kind of position now where you can kind of leave that behind from away and move on from that.
I mean, the positives is that we've got lots of different elements in the band. We've got Clive is he's a classic drummer. He's played on lots of classic stuff, and he's a great Rocky. Vocals and bass playing. He's done on albums he's been on, and the Def Leppard thing, and he's the voice of Def Leppard as far as I'm concerned. And we've done our thing. Danny's done loads of stuff before, and classic UFO.
We worked together,
and we've worked together in the past. In Latin America, in Spain, and various other places. So there's a lot of really good elements to blend in there, and it's quite exciting to have those.
The playing level is, for me, it's easily the best. Which you would hope it would be at this age, when you finally arrive at a band which is the best. And I
think we've got a natural chemistry.
Yeah, we do.
It's not. There's nothing. We're not fighting anything. It's all just there. We're just getting in, and it sort of happens naturally. So.
Good times, then.
Yeah, good times.
It's very, very exciting. Very exciting. It can only get better with our whole new thing, but
with the hair gel, it was definitely going to get better.
Hair gel is going to be the most beautiful thing in existence.
Yeah. It will be on our stalls with the t-shirts.
I can't wait. I really can't wait. Well, thank you so much for having a chat to us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to see the set. Not long now until you're on stage. An hour and a half, but not relatively long.
No. Bit of time to warm up.
Definitely. But I'll see you in September, if not before. See you soon.
Thank you very much. Good, darling.